Hi, everybody. I hope you're here with me in the Polar Bear Lounge. If you're here, give me a thumbs up or a heart or say hello. Today, I am talking about 8 strategies for getting the most out of audiobooks. Audiobooks have been a major source of pleasure in my life, and I feel that they can truly enrich any book lover's life. I think that, like me, there have probably been times when you struggled with audiobooks. Has anybody ever found it difficult to concentrate or to focus on an audiobook? If so, please just mention in the comments, yeah, I can relate. Um, Sometimes it is difficult to focus. Your mind can wander. And I'm sure there are some of you that are listening to this video that have probably given up on audiobooks altogether because you just felt like they weren't for you. Your mind just wasn't wired for audiobooks. But I have some strategies that I hope you will consider giving a try, because once you get into the routine of listening to audiobooks on a regular basis, you will be amazed by how many more books on your TBR list you can get through, and how much joy, how much pleasure having an audiobook as part of your daily routine can bring to book lovers. So what I did was I went out and I did a little research on, how to focus, and also kind of combined that research with things that I've learned over the years to help me focus on my audiobooks. And so I'd like to share what I've come up with. And so the first thing is to improve your mental focus. No one can focus on anything if they don't take care of their mental health and make it easier for their mind to focus. And so if you aren't sleeping regularly or sleeping well, if you aren't eating regularly or eating good foods that are healthy for you, it's not going to be easy for you to focus on anything, much less an audiobook. And as a writer, I sometimes get my days and nights mixed up, because when I have a deadline or when the muse strikes me, I often just get up on my laptop and away I go. And especially if I have a deadline. And also, I find myself, when I'm stressed out, eating without any consideration for meal times. And this can be really difficult for your mental health, really hard on your mental health. It can make you have problems with focus in general. So in order for you to get in the right frame, oh, hi, Sammy, it's so good to see you. I'm glad. Maybe it's right before your dental appointment and you could squeeze in a minute or so, huh? I was just saying that in order for you to be able to focus on an audiobook, you've really got to make sure that you're taking care of your mental health. And to do that, you have to take care of your body too. So that means getting good rest, getting regular sleep, eating on a regular, routine, maybe even getting a little bit of exercise each day, which I have got to get back into my life. I've kind of slacked around on that. But keeping your environment organized is another way to help you to keep your mind able to focus. And I'm actually going to be doing a segment at a future date on this. And so I'll give you more tips on how to keep your environment clutter-free so that you can focus more on your books. So the first is to improve your mental focus. The next one is to relax. Your mental focus can be improved by relaxing and using methods like positive thinking and imagery to overcome worry, because studies show that when you're anxious or nervous or stressed, your brain is on high alert. And that means that it is recognizing all stimuli in your environment, because it is, it wants to make sure that you're not in danger, And so in order for you to be able to focus on an audiobook, you can't be anxious or worried or stressed, because the distractions then are just going to be even more powerful, and you won't be able to concentrate. So you might try doing some deep breathing exercises, maybe a calming bath. Try to find a time during the day when you're just getting started with audiobooks, I mean. Try to find a time when you are at your most relaxed. So maybe not before your busy day and you're stressed about the day. Maybe at the end, after you've already gotten through your day and it's time for you to relax. Maybe that would be a better time for you to try the audiobook. Now, instead of focusing on how to focus better, another thing that we can do is eliminate distractions. So far we've talked about improving mental focus, overcoming anxiety and stress by relaxing and doing breathing exercises. A third strategy is just to eliminate distractions altogether. And this is especially true if listening to audiobooks is something new that you're trying. I would do this. I would go into a room, make it dark, make it silent, turn off TV, turn off music, tell your friends and family members not to disturb you during this 20 minutes, turn off all your notifications, get off Wi-Fi, get your phone turned off, and just allow yourself 20 minutes to get into this audiobook. The thing is, you have to train your mind. Listening to an audiobook is something that takes practice. It's not something that you might be able to succeed at the very first time or even the second time you try. So taking a little bit of time to eliminate distractions altogether and just lay in your favorite chair in a dark room without any other distractions. And once you get into the story, you'll be surprised. It'll be a lot easier to tune out all those other distractions once you have gotten in to the world and to the characters and to the book. So how many of you here today already listen to audiobooks? Just give me a yes in the comments. Yes, I listen to audiobooks. If it's something that you've tried, but you just couldn't get into, you could just say, I gave up or something like that to let me know. And that'll at least give me some idea. So in addition to improving your mental focus, relaxing so that you can overcome anxiety and stress and therefore limit the impact that the outside stimuli are having on your brain, and then limiting distractions altogether. The next thing I would recommend, especially once you've done those first three strategies, is to limit your listening activities to mindless tasks. In my last segment, I talked about how much reading I get done by listening to audiobooks and how I do it while I'm driving, I do it while I'm doing household chores and so forth. You have to make sure, though, that the tasks, that they're mindless. So, for example, I can listen to an audiobook when I'm stuck in traffic on a familiar route. But if I'm traveling to a new place and I need to, follow directions, I can't listen to an audiobook while I'm doing that. Likewise, if I'm at the grocery store and I'm waiting in line for my turn to check out, I can whip out that audiobook and get a nice 5-minute listen in. But if I'm hunting for items on my list, I can't listen to an audiobook and be searching for, the perfect brand of spaghetti sauce that I need for my dinner that night. No. So think about mindless things that you can do. There are so many opportunities throughout the day when you have idle time. And this leads me to my next strategy, which is to have an audiobook on you at all times, because then you are ready for that idle time, especially when it's unexpected that comes your way. So you might be listening to an audiobook while you're waiting on your friend to meet you for lunch. She's running late. So what do? Well, you have your audiobook handy. Of course, if you have your paperback or your e-reader with you, you can whip that out too. But if you're walking from your car across a long parking lot to get to the building that you're headed for, you can't really read while you're walking. So having an audiobook handy for that makes that walk so much more pleasant. Likewise, if you walk for exercise daily, having your audiobook handy makes the exercise go by so fast and makes it so much more enjoyable, in my opinion. Maybe you're waiting for a dentist appointment like Sammy is, or you're waiting on a doctor's appointment, or for your class to begin, or something like that, a meeting with colleagues, and it's running late for some reason. You have your earbuds handy, listen to your audiobook. So there's lots of idle time throughout the day if you have that audiobook handy to squeeze in listening to the book. And once you've practiced the previous strategies that I mentioned, where you can get over the issues with focus, it's so easy to get right back into the story. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there throughout your day. And before you know it, you've finished the book. It really makes it easy for me to get through my TBR lists faster, and it brings little spots of joy to my day, throughout the day, which is also nice. Now, the next one is to take short breaks, and I rarely have long spans of time where I get to listen to an audiobook. Like I said, my audiobook listening tends to be in little spots here and there throughout the day. But if you do have an opportunity to listen for a very long time, just take a little break. Go put your audiobook on pause while you go get yourself a little snack or a drink, or while you take your dogs outside, or maybe you just go and look at your garden for a few minutes. Just 5 minutes is all you need to kind of reset your focus and help you get back into the audiobook. Another thing you can do is to alternate between reading and listening, especially if you're new to audiobooks and you're just getting into them. What you can try is read the ebook or the paperback first, get into the world and get to know the characters that way, but then be able to switch over to the audiobook, like when you're driving in traffic or waiting in line at the grocery store. And starting off with the print or ebook version will make it easier for you to focus on the audiobook, because you will be, by that point, you're more of a passive listener. In the beginning of a story, you're more of an active listener because you're having to pick up on a lot of clues just to figure out who's who and what's happening. But there's a point when you get further enough into a book where you're a little bit more passive with your reading, and that would be a good time to switch over to audiobook listening. Now, I like to have the ebook and the audiobook where I can switch back and forth at my convenience. And, to me, especially as a member at Audible, I get so many credits, and sometimes my credits will build up. So to me, it doesn't feel like it's costing me anything to get the audiobook version along with the ebook version, so that I can go back and forth and read when it's more convenient for me to read, and then listen when it's more convenient for me to listen. And then the last thing I want to mention is to keep practicing. Now, some of you who, have tried audiobooks and couldn't stand them, or the idea of an audiobook just completely turns you off, might be wondering, why would I recommend that you go through all this trouble to get good at listening to audiobooks? But I'm telling you, you can't read a book while you're stuck in traffic. You can't read a book while you're crocheting or knitting a familiar pattern. You can't read a book while you're performing household chores, because you need your hands to fold laundry or unload and load the dishes in the dishwasher, or dust or whatever. Also, it's easier to get away with wearing earbuds when you're at a party or a seminar that you don't want to be at than it is to whip out a book. Then they recognize your rudeness. So don't give up on audiobooks. They've really enriched my life, and I think they can enrich yours. Now, if you're new to audiobooks, this is something that I mentioned in my segment last time, and I'm going to add a link here as well in the Polar Bear Lounge. I'll have another post coming up with this information. But if you're new and you would like to give Audible a try, I have a referral link that will get you 2 free audiobooks with your membership. And I also have information on what you get with your Audible membership. I highly recommend it. This is what I do. I am a member of Audible, and it gets me credits that can be then exchanged for books. 1 credit gets you 1 audiobook, and these can be built up. Like if you have a month where you don't need credits, maybe you've got some free promo codes or something like that, you can save the credit for the next month and use them then. And they're good for a year. They won't expire for a year. You also get discounts as a member on Audible books that you'd like to purchase. They have easy audiobook exchanges, and then they also have what they call Audible Originals. These are audiobooks that Audible produces and then makes free for you 2 per month. So those are some nice little perks to being a member of Audible. Now, I'm going to provide in a link, I'm going to provide both my US referral link and my UK referral link. And this is going to take you to Secrets of the Greek Revival. Now, if you've already read that book or you don't want that audiobook, you want a different one, just email me and I'll put my email address and let me know if there's a different one you want. Although once you open your account, you should be able to change your choice of audiobook preference that you want, the 2 free ones that you want to get. Now, if you're already a member of Audible and, you know, I have something for you as well. I have free codes for most of my books for people in the UK and the US. I have a code that you can use for any of your choice. I think I might be out of US codes for Secrets of the Greek Revival, but I should have codes for just about anything else. So if you are already an audiobook reader and you would like to get a code, please message me or leave a comment on this live stream, and I will get you a code. Just let me know which title you want. So anyway, those are my tips, tried and true. I can't tell you. I'm just thinking about it makes me want to go and get it my next. I'm finishing up the Marcella 2, the final edit, so I don't have time to listen to an audiobook right now. By the way, I can't wait for you all to read it. But once I get these final edits turned in and the book is published, I am ready for my next audiobook. I hope this was helpful. I hope those of you who are watching this in replay find that it's something you can give a try. Please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to provide you with more links and codes to get you going with audiobooks. Next time, I am going to be talking about how to make writing reviews a breeze. Many of you I know are book bloggers and reviewers, and if you aren't, you still often leave reviews for books just because you want to support your favorite authors, hopefully. And so for next week, I'm going to talk about some strategies for making review writing easy peasy. And I'm also going to have some templates that you can download for free that you can use for writing reviews that will help you depending on what your goal is and each type of review. So please join me next week at the same time for Tuesday Tea with Eva here in the Polar Bear Lounge, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, to learn about ways to I haven't come up with the title yet, but ways to make review writing easy peasy. That's all I have. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're watching me from my YouTube channel, please subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them as best I can. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in the lounge or on other social media outlets. Bye.